Welcome to the Makeover Your Mindset podcast. I'm Cassie McKenzie. Think of me as your BFF for manifestation and high vibe mindset makeovers. It's my personal mission to turn your inspiration into action so you can be, do, and have everything you've ever dreamed of having in life. This podcast will focus a ton on creating fulfilling relationships with money, friends, and soulmates, and inspire you to have fun so you can live the most extraordinary life you've ever imagined. If you're ready to take to the next step, then you've come to the right place. Thanks again for joining me. Now let's begin. If you don't know me, if this is the first time that you're watching me, I am a money mindset coach. So I help women who are trying to get out of debt, who want to build up their savings, travel the world. Now, these could be women that are super high achieving, who already make six figures. They could be women that already make, $50,000 a year. It doesn't really matter. The whole thing is that I work with women who want to live a better life and create a life intentionally, and who understand that there is a connection between how you feel about money and how much money comes into you. So, hey Kathleen, I wanted to start this by saying I heard a really, really interesting figure today. And if you've gone to any sort of Tony Robbins events, you know that he says money is like 80% mechanics, 80% mindset, 20% mechanics. But wealth is actually 95% mindset and 5% mechanics. So what that means is I can give you all the strategy that you want. I can tell you what stocks to invest in. But if for some reason your mindset isn't right, if there's some sort of doubt that you can have it, or any sort of worry that it won't stick around, or any sort of like feelings that you're not worthy of the money that you want, or just basically anything that makes you feel gross, icky, unworthy, or whatever, of any sort of like joy and abundance and money in your life, then it's not going to stick around. And I've seen this in particular in my own life, in my clients' lives, and I am setting out to tell as many people as I can about this so that you can learn it early on. And if you're like me and you have little kids running around, then you want to make sure that you're setting, them up for success too, and giving them a good example to start off of. So if that's important to you, then I'm sure you'll want to keep listening. So I don't know why my halo light is like freaking out. It keeps moving. Maybe I'm kicking it. So the topic of today, what I wanted to talk to you all about today, was how to become a boss lady that makes bank and what it takes for that. So knowing that it takes 95% mindset in order to, become wealthy and stay wealthy and keep the wealth in your life. I'm sure you know where I'm going to go with this. And it is, how are you currently thinking and operating around money? Like, what are the thoughts that you have, the feelings that you have, the consistent thoughts that come up and the consistent feelings that come up? Is it good? Are they good feelings? Are they feelings of worthiness, like more than 50% of the time? Or are they feelings of, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. I feel like really depressed about it. I am very anxious. I stay up at night. All of these things are things that like I work with my clients about. And, as far as becoming a boss lady that makes bank, you want to look at it from your own identity and how you are defining yourself and your relationship with money. I actually heard T. Harv Eker, if you're familiar with him, he actually wrote that book, The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And T. Harv Eker states that, or he says that your money mindset, or like your internal blueprint, is more like a thermostat. So if you imagine it like a thermostat in your house where you have it set at 73, pretty cold, right? I live in Florida. So if your internal thermostat is set at 73 and it starts to get hotter than that, then obviously the house is going to warm up, but then the thermostat's going to kick in and cool the house back down. Similarly, if the house starts to get colder and bumps below 73, then the heat's going to kick on and it's going to bring it back up to that set point. So your set point in your house or your thermostat is really similar to how your mind works around money. So you have a mental thermostat or a mental and emotional set point as to what sort of emotional availability that you have for money. So say it's set for your identity is that you make $50,000 a year. Let's just start there. Actually, no, let's go up. Let's go up to $80,000 a year. Or it could be like a certain amount in savings. Like say you're used to always having $10,000 in savings. Well, if that's what you're used to, then say you get an extra bonus that, goes up over the 10,000. Chances are there's going to be some sort of situation that manifests that causes that amount to go back down to 10,000. So overall, at the end of the day, you stay pretty much around the same amount in your savings. Similarly with your income, if you've noticed your past income, has it pretty much stayed around like the same point? Or have you noticed that it's really increased over time and you've started to set higher points and higher points, as far as your emotional availability for what you'd like to earn? Because at every new level, you have to believe that that is your identity as to what you're actually earning. And it all comes back to how you define yourself and how you've defined and created your life. So the reason I'm bringing this up today is that, I asked to my group, gave them 5 questions, and also it was posted on Instagram, maybe Facebook too, about 5 questions to ask yourself to get in the vibe of money. Because I always teach everyone that you really have to embody that next level version of yourself. And when you do that, then you're able to manifest more money into your life. And nothing's going to change on the outside reality until you change what's going on inside you. You're only going to draw all this great stuff to yourself when you're embodying that next level version of yourself. And that's where you come in as the boss lady that makes bank. So I teach all about this in my upcoming group coaching program, as well as my Bali Retreat and in my one-on-one coaching. But more specifically, like for instance, at the Bali Retreat, day 1 is dedicated completely to your, like if you see on the website, it's you're crafting your personal identity with money as a high achieving, purposeful boss lady that earns what she's worth and has the savings, the houses, and the dream life to show for it. I teach this to anybody regardless of what level they're currently at. You don't have to be making $10 an hour to want to improve your money mindset. I was making over 6 figures in my last job, and I still wanted to learn how to make even more money and make more impact and be able to provide even better life for my family and travel the world and do all sorts of things. So just because you're already making good money right now doesn't mean that you might not be interested in learning more about how to even move your internal identity even higher into greater levels of wealth for you. Does that make sense? Drop me an emoji if you're watching this. If you're watching this on the replay, do #bank and let me know what you think, because this is one area that is so important to learn and internalize. So many people think that you need to do more things in order to make more money, and it couldn't be more backwards. I can't even tell you how many times I hear from people saying, well, I need to do this and I need to do that and I need to do that in order to make more money. And it just simply isn't true. It all comes down to who are you being and who are you accepting as your, internal thermostat and internal identity for what sort of person that earns the kind of money that you want to earn. So it's not so much about doing more, it's about being more and becoming that person who already has what you want so that you can manifest even more into your life. Once you've set that personal identity and subconsciously accepted it, that's when you start to see the real transformations, because you start making decisions like that version of you who would show up to an event in a certain way, who would feel certain ways about money, who would get a bill in the mail and say, oh, I'm just going to pay this right now and be done with it. Or they'd get a bill in the mail and say, this is cool, great, I'm so glad for the service they provided, as opposed to the old version of you who might have freaked out, shit her pants, and ran the other direction. or just thrown it right back in the mailbox and forgot it wasn't there. So, or forgot it was there. But, ask yourself, if you walked into a Porsche dealership today, would you be like kind of awkward, or would you be like, damn right, I'm buying a Porsche today. Like, this is great, because that is the embodiment of the next level version. And maybe you're not a Porsche person. Maybe you're a BMW. I don't really care. The whole point is, what is that, next level version of you who's investing in the things that you are looking to invest in, or in buying the things that you want to buy. I'll be honest, like, I felt weird as fuck one time walking into a Louis Vuitton store, and I didn't know why. It was like, I felt really, really weird being there. I guess because I wasn't making the money that like a normal person who goes and buys stuff from Louis Vuitton would make. And it was almost like I felt like an imposter, as though they would know that I didn't make that much money. But they wouldn't know that by looking at me. They would just know that by the physiology of how I walked in like some awkward asshole off the street. So if you think about it and you start to embody that version, like if I'd have gone in and said, I make $100,000 a year, I'm buying this freaking thing right now, then they wouldn't have known any different. Fast forward to later in life when I'd go in like a juicy sweatpants outfit and like look like I barely took a shower in the last week, and like I didn't feel any different. I mean, I acted like I belonged there. So it's all about that vibe of what you're putting out so that you can attract more of what's on that plane to you. So, and then that'll take you into your emotional thermostat about money too. So that's really important. I'll cover that on a different day, but I really wanted to go into that identity of that boss lady that makes bank. So like, how does she show up for an interview? How does she walk into a dealership? How does she walk into whatever store you want to buy things? What would you think about when someone approaches you to donate money for a friend that's just recently been diagnosed with cancer or something? You'd probably feel differently if you're at your next level than if you're at the level you currently are now, if you're not really making the money or keeping the money that you want to make. But this is like all that this is the first step of everything that I'm going to teach and walk everyone through at my upcoming Bali retreat. This completely transformational retreat is happening in November. And so if you're at all interested in taking your life to the next level, this is what we're going to start with. And you are literally going to design your most rich and abundant and free, happy life that you've ever lived in your whole life. And I'm going to be helping you every step of the way, using a lot of techniques that I've learned along the way, a lot of that I've gone to school to learn, that I've become board certified in. And that includes fun things like hypnosis and timeline techniques and all sorts of other techniques that we use to make instant changes. Like, change can happen literally in an instant. It doesn't have to take 3 weeks. It doesn't have to take 3 months. It's up to you as to what sort of timeline you really are on. If you're serious about making more money and keeping more money and getting better jobs, bringing in more income, having a better life, teaching your kids a better way to think about money, then it's probably more of an urgency for you. And you'd probably be a lot more interested in taking a week out of your life to learn a year's worth of content and internalize it, so you go back literally a different person, like totally transformed. And that next level version of you would be jumping at the chance to do this. And I fully, wholeheartedly think that. Because I think back to a couple of years ago when I remember looking at some of these people's courses or retreats, and I was like, holy crap, how do they charge so much money for that? Like, what in the hell could they possibly do? But like, now that I've got my own, and I know everything that's going into it, it is a freaking bargain, and it's never going to be that price ever again, because this is the first time we're doing it. It's a gift to you to be able to take advantage of before you head into the new year in 2020. And I could not be more excited about this. I can't wait. I'm ready to go like immediately as I keep kicking this halo light around. But anyway, we're going to talk about that a lot at the Bali Retreat. You're going to be getting major shifts in your money mindset. You're really going to see a huge difference in how you feel about money, how you spend money, how you save money, how you earn money, and really your philosophy around how all of this happens. It's a totally different mindset than the one that you've been using your whole life. And it's so important to, start learning these sort of things early on so that you're not sitting in a 9-to-5 job as that's the only way that you're going to make money, until you're 65. Like, who wants to do that? Like, I think it was Tony Robbins who also said, like, you live in a box, you go to work in a box, you actually spend all day in a box working as you're staring at a box, and then go home to your box and sleep on a bed that's shaped like a box. And it's like, no, there's got to be a better way. There's a better way to design the life that you want. And it starts with making major decisions, taking massive action, doing things at in-person and one-on-one type of situations, like retreats like I'm holding in November. So if this is speaking to you at all, I announced a special deal today. So like you can get $500 off the cost of the retreat between now and October 1st. I was getting a lot of questions about my early bird special. It ended this past Sunday, and I was getting a lot of questions to try to reinstate that. And I came up with a great solution. So you're going to get $500 off the cost of retreat plus an extra one-on-one call with me to do a strategy around where you want to go, what your goals are, how we can get you there the quickest way, and really make a huge difference in your life, which is why I'm here. So if you're part of my group, the Badass Manifestation Queen, they also get an extra amount off of this retreat. So if you're at all interested in feeling called to check it out, you can go to makeoveryourmindset.com/Bali, find out more about all the details. We're staying in a private villa that actually Manifestation Babe holds her retreats at like over double the price of what I'm actually charging. And it's going to involve over a year's worth of group coaching, some one-on-one coaching, a private chef, private yoga classes that we're going to do poolside, guided meditations, hypnosis, and journaling, life-changing and life-shifting journaling that you won't find anywhere else because it's mine. And if you follow me for long enough, I am different than everyone else. So if you'd like to become a boss lady that makes bank too, then go to makeoveryourmindset.com/Bali and come and immerse yourself in this experience where you can totally rewire your identity and to majorly change yourself to the core about your financial, opinions and the amount of abundance you're worthy of, and, start making the money that you're worthy of making as soon as possible, because that's what I want for you. Alrighty, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at any time. If you want to talk about this, you can hop on a call with me. I'm always available, and I'm happy to share more information with you. But thank you guys so much. I love all of you who joined, and be sure to drop me an emoji if you absolutely loved this, and I will be talking with you guys again tomorrow. I'll see you. Bye. Thank you so much for choosing to push play on another episode of the Makeover Your Mindset podcast. If you absolutely loved today's episode, please take a minute to screenshot the episode, put it on Instagram, tag me, and let me know what's working for you. I absolutely love hearing from each and every one of you, and I love being able to bring this podcast to you on a weekly basis. Also, please take a minute if you're loving the podcast and leave a rating and a review. I absolutely love each and every review that's been put on iTunes. They help us reach more people, help more people find out about the Makeover Your Mindset podcast, and keep the good stuff coming to you. Thanks again so much. I love you all, and I look forward to meeting here again next week.